Today we are going to see about one compartment open model. In that IV infusion, continuous IV infusion. Previous video we saw about one compartment open model, IV bolus. Here we are going to see about IV infusion. So what do you mean by that? The problem with IV bolus is, if you are you can clearly see here, rapid IV injection is unsuitable when drug has potential to give toxicity. To precipitate the toxicity, if it has a potential to give the toxicity, in that case you can't inject drug the full dose at one shot. That what is IV bolus. Okay, or if you want to maintain the drug for a more longer period of time in the body, if the drug plasma concentration has to be maintained for the longer period of time, in that case also it is very difficult to maintain the desired drug concentration over a period of time. Hence we go for we try to choose for intravenous IV infusion. Okay, so what are the advantages of this? Advantages of this is ease of control of rate of infusion to fit individual patient needs. So some patient may require more rate of infusion, some patient may require less rate of infusion. Depending on that, you can control the rate of infusion in the IV, this continuous infusion, and it also prevents the fluctuation of plasma drug concentration, and electrolytes and nutrients can be given over the period of time, okay, slowly through continuous infusion. So this is the advantage of continuous infusion. Now to start this, you need to know what we are going to do here. Okay, for that you should know one compartment open model IV infusion. Okay, sorry. So IV infusion. So what we are going to see here is, again we are going to derive a kinetic equation, okay, or you can say mathematical treatment. Then we are going to derive parameters, pharmacokinetic parameters. What are those parameters? Obviously Ke, clearance, half-life. So we try to give a mathematical treatment for this one compartment open model IV infusion, and also we try to derive those parameters. This is how this concept goes. Okay, so we'll try to give the mathematical equation for that. Before that, you should know what is the model looks like. This is how the model looks. What you are going to do is, you will be giving the infusion with some rate. Okay, that rate will be R naught, that is zero order. Why we call it as zero order here? This one is called as zero order because the rate of infusion is not dependent on the plasma drug concentration. Okay, you are not giving on the depending on the plasma drug concentration. You are giving the rate of infusion without any dependence on the plasma drug concentration. Hence we call it as zero order. Okay, constant rate you are giving. The rate will be constant, whether the plasma drug concentration is more or less. You will be giving at a constant rate. That constant rate is not dependent on your plasma drug concentration. Hence we call it as zero order. If okay. Next, the given drug will come out through body in first order fashion, that is elimination rate. Okay, this elimination will be first order. Why? Depending on the plasma drug concentration, your elimination will be either less or more. It depends. If more drug is there, more drug will be eliminated. That what is first order. Okay, the more drug is there, more drug will be eliminated. If the less drug is there, less drug will be eliminated. That's how it classified. You need to remember this, because to give a mathematical treatment, you need to have this setup first. Okay, you need to know this. Okay, remember this. Through this concept only we are going to derive this equation. Okay, that what textbook is also saying. We'll try to see this here. See, so the model can represent as follows. Drug, we are giving in a zero order rate infusion. Why we are calling it as zero order infusion? Because the rate is constant. The infusion rate which you are giving here, it will be constant. It is not dependent on your drug concentration. Okay, but elimination, again that elimination depends on the drug concentration. It follows first order. So at any time during infusion, the rate of change of amount, obviously to start the equation, we should start with what is the rate of change of drug concentration or amount, not concentration, amount of drug in the body. What is its rate of change of drug concentration in the body? So we try to represent like dx by dt. It is the rate of change of amount of drug in the body. So we saw that in previous video, that is one compartment open model IV bolus also, or you can extravascular, intravascular, anything. You need to start with rate of change of amount of drug in the body. So rate of change of amount of drug in the body is depends on what is your absorption. Here absorption is infusion rate. Okay, one is incoming drug minus outgoing drug, that is elimination rate of elimination. So rate of incoming minus rate of outgoing gives you what is the rate of change of amount of drug in the body. Remember this one. Okay, so rate of incoming is what you are going to give the drug in a zero order fashion, hence we call it as R naught. That is the rate of incoming, minus what is the elimination, KE. It follows zero order, hence overall elimination rate constant. Capital letter indicates overall elimination rate constant, KE into X. It depends on the amount of drug already present in the body. So I am writing X. Okay, so this is the equation for rate of change of drug in the amount of drug in the body. Okay, this is how we start the mathematical equation. Now we need to modify this equation. What we are going to do now is, we will see how that by giving the mathematical treatment, we will try to derive the equation from which we can determine this KE. Our aim now is to derive a equation which can determine the KE as well as your half-life and clearance. Okay, we will first derive that equation. We try to derive that equation which can derive this, which can determine value of KE, elimination rate constant. Okay, so yeah, see here that what it says, dx by dt is R naught minus KE into X. Now upon integrating this equation, if we integrate this equation, what you will get it, X is equal to, I'll just write it, X is equal to R naught by KE into 1 minus e to the power of minus KE t. If you ask me, sir, how it comes, you should learn the integration part here. That is the reason why your pharmacokinetics is very difficult. Okay, you should know this integration part. Okay, R naught divided by K into 1 minus ET, e to the power of minus KET. Okay, that's how you get this equation. Next, we know that concentration is equal to amount by volume of distribution. We can write this equation as amount is equal to concentration into volume of distribution. Okay, substitute this equation into this equation. Okay, this is the equation 1. Let's say this is equation 2. Substitute this into this. What we will get, in place of X, I will substitute concentration into volume of distribution into R naught by KE into 1 minus e to the power of minus KET. Now we want only concentration and send the volume of distribution down. What you will get here is, so concentration is equal to R naught by volume of distribution Ke into 1 minus e to the power minus Ke T. Now this one, what we know about this is clearance. Clearance is volume of distribution into Ke. We saw that in our first video. Okay, you have to go and check it. Okay, so substitute this equation into this. What you will get? Concentration is equal to R naught by clearance into 1 minus e to the power minus Ke T. Okay. Now, so we got this equation here. Okay. Now we try to see the graph which will derive the equation for continuous infusion. Okay, that's what it says at starting rate. That's what he is explaining. So we'll try to see this graph. Okay, to get the steady state. So this is the graph. What happens here is, we'll try to see here. So we derived this equation. Remember this equation. Okay, this equation again we are going to use to determine the Ke value from steady state concentration. So we need this equation. Remember this. Okay, so we'll try to see the graph now. So what happens when you initially give your IV infusion? I'll try to represent in the graph. If we take concentration and time, initially there will be no any drug into the body. So when you start the IV infusion, slowly the amount of drug will increase, reaches to the maximum. Okay, when it reaches here this point we call it as steady state. Okay, what happens in steady state? See, initially in this phase there will be no elimination. Okay, there will be only absorption of the drug into the plasma. Absorption is not there here. Directly we are giving the drug into the plasma. Okay, the amount of drug in plasma is slowly rising. There is no elimination part here. Okay, initially, as the concentration of drug increases, slowly elimination also increases. Now that drug concentration which is increasing in the body, in the plasma due to IV infusion and elimination will be equalized at this state. Okay, at this point your drug concentration, rate of infusion is equal to rate of elimination. That we call it as steady state. Remember, steady state means the amount of drug coming inside and the amount of drug going outside from the body will be equal. We call that as steady state. Okay, so this steady state is very important. Whenever you are giving infusion, you should give infusion in such a way that you should achieve steady state okay, steady state drug concentration there. Now if you stop at this stage, if you stop the infusion, again you will get your rate of incoming will be less and the outgoing will be more. Hence we get the elimination phase here like this. This curve represents the elimination phase. If I take this curve, I will try to represent this curve in a separate graph. Okay, same curve I will be representing here. If I take that curve, instead of concentration, if I take semi-log graph, then what happens? Whatever that curve, this curve, okay, whatever the curve is there, this one, it will become straight. I am only mentioning this curve here. Okay, only this part, elimination part. This will become straight and the slope will give you Ke by 2.303. Now from the elimination part, after stopping your infusion, you can determine the Ke value. I said you initially only. You need to give a mathematical treatment for the equation, mathematical treatment for one compartment open model, and try to evaluate the Ke. So Ke can be, first part, elimination rate constant can be calculated from the above graph if the infusion given is stopped. Means if you are going to elimination phase, then you can calculate what is the amount of K, what is the value of K in this elimination. Now suppose I want to know what is Ke from steady state concentration. I want to know what is the value of Ke from steady state concentration. That is also there. Okay, this one part remember here. From here also you can calculate what is the half-life and Ke of the drug from the elimination part. Okay, from the elimination part. So now we will see how to get the equation for steady state. Now we will saw what we saw is I am giving continuously. See here this graph what it is saying. Okay, here it is representing about 2x rate of infusion. That upper graph is for 2x rate of infusion. We will concentrate on x rate of infusion at particular rate. If you try to give the infusion, what happens slowly? See here it is increasing slowly. Okay, it will go to the steady state. If you stop the infusion, then it goes to the elimination phase. If you make that line straight by applying semi-log graph, you can calculate Ke value here. So this is the one part. The next part is I want to get the equation for steady state. So we will get, now next we are deriving the equation for steady state. For that what we have to do, at steady state the rate of change of amount of drug, rate of change of amount of drug in the body at the steady state, okay, is 0. Steady state means what? Whatever incoming is equal to outgoing. Hence at steady state dx by dt will be 0. So take that first equation. What we will do here is, initially we try to give a mathematical equation, that is amount of is equal to incoming minus outgoing. At steady state this one will be 0. Rate of amount of rate of change of the drug will be 0. Hence 0 is equal to R naught minus Kex. I can write like this: R naught is equal to Kex. Now here x is your steady state, amount at steady state. Because we are deriving the equation for steady state, see here we are considering steady state, hence I need to mention this amount has steady state equation. Now what we are doing is we are determining the steady state. Initially we try to determine the value of Ke just through the graph, taking both when I stop the infusion, what happens through that we try to determine the Ke value. Now here what we are doing, we try to calculate give the equation. I need to get the equation for steady state concentration. From the steady state equation we will draw a graph, then from that graph also we will try to determine Ke value. Okay, how? We will see. Okay, this is the equation. Now convert this. I don't want amount here because I want concentration. So convert this terms to concentration. Okay, so what happens here? Sorry, convert this terms to concentration. What is that? So concentration is equal to x by Vd. So amount is equal to concentration into Vd. If I take here amount has steady state amount, then the concentration will be steady state. So what I will do, R naught is equal to Ke. Substitute this equation here. What you will get? CSS into Vd. I want only steady state concentration, then we will get steady state concentration. Okay, you will get the steady state concentration is equal to R naught by Ke into Vd. Again we know that Ke into Vd is equal to clearance. Substitute this equation here, you will get steady state concentration is equal to R naught by clearance. Okay, this is the equation what we got here. Yeah, so what it says, R naught by clearance, steady state concentration is equal to infusion rate by clearance. If you get the what do you say, that problem saying that calculate the how to attain steady state concentration in one compartment open model, okay, through infusion, you need to have rate of infusion in your hand and clearance. If you have rate of infusion and clearance, you can say this is the steady state concentration. You can calculate what is the steady state concentration. Now how to reach that steady state concentration, we'll see. Okay, then we have take that equation 3.7. so our, I told you first equation, remember, clearance one. Okay, again I will write that. So that equation is, go to our first equation, that is equal to, okay, what we have, R naught by LT into 1 minus e to the power of minus KE T. This is our first equation. Remember, I told you we need that equation to derive the steady state concentration. So here you substitute the above equation, substitute this equation here, what we will get? So concentration is equal to steady state concentration into 1 minus e to the power of KE T. Now we will try to rearrange this equation and try to draw the graph for this equation. Okay, so rearrange this equation, what we will get, just multiply this. So concentration is equal to steady state concentration minus, this is E to the power of KE T. Okay, take concentration this side and this, take this one this side and this one here. What we will get? Steady state concentration e to the power of KET, okay, is equal to steady state concentration minus C. Send the steady state, send this part here. You will get e to the power of KET is equal to CSS minus C by CSS, steady state concentration. Now this one, whatever the left hand side is there, whatever the left hand side is there, we can write like this. Okay, e to the power of KET can also be written as KET by 2.303. Substitute this one here. So this is just a conversion factor. Okay, substitute that here. What you will get? KET by 2.303 is equal to CSS minus C by CSS. Okay, I'll just rewrite this equation just by rewriting this above equation. Okay, what will we get? CSS minus C by steady state concentration is equal to KET by 2.303. Now convert this. I want to draw a graph from this. I said you earlier, we need to determine the Ke value from steady state concentration. So we get the equation. Now we need to draw the equation, graph for this equation. So assume this is y axis, this is x axis, this one is slope. Yep. Yeah, we'll just check that equation here. Yes, sorry, I just missed some part here. So negative value, I just missed that negative value. Okay, here and here and here also, minus KET. Okay, So we need to draw the graph for this. The graph will be, so because it is having a negative value, this is the y-axis. I'll try to draw the graph here. You have the y-axis, that is steady state concentration minus concentration divided by steady state concentration. X-axis will be time. Get a negative graph, straight line, and the slope will be minus Ke by 2.39. So again you can calculate Ke from steady state concentration. That's what we are doing here. Okay, how to achieve the steady state concentration and how to calculate this. Yeah, this is what the graph looks like for the same thing. Now the problem here is to reach the steady state concentration. Again it is dependent on elimination half-life. Okay, your steady state concentration of drug is again dependent on half-life of the elimination. So how it is depending, we'll try to see here. Okay, we'll try to see the table here. See this table, what it is saying is, okay, try to zoom it, see this table. So here we have left side half-lives, drug half-life, then we have percentage drug remaining, and another column is percentage steady state achieved. Now assume, okay, after one half-life what happens here? 1 2 3 means not time, it is not time. Many people will get confused. It is one half-life. Assume the drug is having a half-life of 3 hours. Here 1 indicates 3, 2 indicates 6, 3 indicates 9, like that. Okay, it is a cycle of the half-life. So at first half-life, half of the, you have given 100% of drug. After one half-life, in that 100%, half of the drug concentration is being utilized to increase the steady state concentration, to achieve steady state concentration, and half of the remaining drug will be there in the plasma. Okay, in the 100%, half of the drug will be remaining in the plasma and other half is utilized for reaching the steady state concentration. That same reaching steady state concentration will get degraded. Okay, that's what he is saying. Remember here, you will get confused in this part. You have 100% of drug. In that 100%, after first half-life, that 250 will be divided. 150 will be in the plasma, it will be remaining there. Another 50, okay, another 50 will be utilized to reach that steady state. Next, that 50% drug is gone to utilization of reach the steady state concentration. While reaching, I said you, there will be elimination as well as increase in the plasma drug concentration in the first phase of your rate of infusion. Now when we come to second cycle of the half-life, your 25% of the drug will be remaining. That another 25% in that 50% which is remaining previously, it is utilized to again reach to steady state. Whatever the drug we are losing here, that losing drug is being utilized to reach the steady state. So initially 50% is utilized, again now 25%, 50 plus 25, 75% is utilized to reach. Then again after third cycle, the remaining is 25 divided by 2, the remaining is 12.5, other 12.5 being utilized to reach plasma concentration, and so on. That's what this graph says. But the problem here is, see, for therapeutic purpose, see this, for therapeutic purpose, more than 90% of steady state concentration drug in the blood is desired. When you get more than 90% of steady state concentration in the blood, then only you will get therapeutic activity. Now what is happening here? To reach that therapeutic activity, almost we need, see here, third hour it is reaching to 87.5 of your plasma steady state concentration. What we need for therapeutic activity? 90%. So between 3 and 4th cycle, it is not third hour, sorry, between 3 and 4th cycle of your half-life, your drug is going to reach steady state concentration irrespective of any drug and any half-life. Let's say your drug half-life is 3 hours, it will take 3.3 cycles. Let's say your drug half-life is 8 hours, then also it will take 3.3 cycles, means 3.3 into 8 hours. That many hours it will take to reach the steady state concentration to get the effect. Now just assume if the drug half-life is 10 hours. Now what happens? I need to wait for 3.3, almost 33 hours to get the therapeutic effect. So it is impossible. Okay, for that what we do is, to get the steady state concentration early, we will try to inject one IV bolus dose. We call it as loading dose. One IV bolus dose we will inject. Okay, so IV bolus is being given. As soon as we give the IV bolus, in that within the span of time we will try to start IV infusion also. Okay, so what we are doing here is, we are giving IV bolus as well as IV infusion. We call that as loading dose and maintenance dose. We will see that what is that. So infusion plus loading dose. Okay, see here, this graph, what it says, amount of drug in the body we try to take in the y-axis. In the x-axis we have half-lives. Okay, now what happens? See, we have, let's say, 3 half-life and 6 half-life. Once you give the drug initially, so amount of drug will be, let's say I am giving a loading dose. Once you give the loading dose, the amount of, once the drug is given in the loading dose, so 100% of drug is been given in the body. The loading dose is one shot IV bolus, 100% drug will be there. As soon as this loading drug is getting decreased, that exponential curve, falling curve, you can see exponential falling of loading dose. When it starts, we already given the infusion. So infusion also starts here, because infusion assumes that initially the drug concentration in the blood will be 0. That's what we saw in the first mathematical treatment. Okay, that's how we start. Okay, initially the blood concentration in the infusion part, we assume it is to be 0. Okay, so when you give one shot, the 100% drug will be there. When that 100% drug is start falling, when you gave the shot, that time itself you try to give infusion there. Okay, when you give the IV bolus there, that is loading dose, that time only we will start giving infusion. So infusion will start slowly, and that by the time this IV bolus, that is loading dose, starts decreasing, the infusion will also increase, and it will attain steady state, and it will maintain the steady state of the drug continuously. So the amount for steady state will be maintained continuously by giving loading dose as well as maintenance dose. We call this as maintenance dose. Okay, so we are giving infusion as a maintenance dose. So intravenous infusion with loading dose, as amount of bolus dose remaining in the body falls, there is a complementary rise in the resulting from the infusion. So whatever the loading dose start falling, that what this graph indicates, it starts falling, your IV infusion also slowly increases. So it will match, and it will try to maintain the drug amount of drug within the steady state. So now I want to know what is the loading dose. Infusion, okay, we are giving in a particular rate, but I need to know what is the loading dose for the maintaining the drug concentration in steady state. To calculate that loading dose, again we need to derive the equations. Okay, so what he is doing is, see here, once again go to the concentration. Okay, so this equation, go to the concentration. So concentration is equal to amount divided by volume of distribution. So assume this as loading amount, steady state amount, and this is steady state concentration. The amount which is required to maintain the steady state concentration, we call it as loading dose. We can take it as X naught L. Initially we are giving, so 0 and L is loading. So if you rearrange the equation, X naught L is equal to steady state concentration. I said this is steady state concentration into Vd. So if you know the steady state concentration and volume of distribution, you can calculate the loading dose. How much loading dose should be given to maintain that one. Next, again we know that steady state concentration is R naught by Ke into Vd. So what I am doing here is we try to include many parameters to calculate loading dose. So loading dose can be calculated from steady state concentration. This is the equation. Then we have another equation to calculate the loading dose. What is that equation is? We know that steady state concentration is equal to R naught by Vd into Ke. So substitute this equation here, you will get loading dose can also be calculated by R naught by Vd into Ke into Vd. This one will get cancelled and you will be remaining with, so loading dose is equal to rate of infusion divided by K. So this is the equation. What it says is, if you want to calculate the loading dose, the first equation is, if you have steady state concentration, just multiply that concentration with volume of distribution, you will get the loading dose. Or else here the inputs given are rate of infusion and elimination rate constant. If you have these two, then also you can calculate the loading dose. This is the equation, rate of infusion by rate of infusion by elimination rate constant. Then now we need to take both the equations. One I am giving IV bolus, I will take IV bolus equation here. Two I am giving infusion, I will take infusion equation here. Two equation we will try to collaborate and we will try to see to get the concentration of drug in the body in the plasma over a time. So that's what that says. The equation describing plasma concentration profile over a time period for both IV infusion as well as IV bolus is the sum of two equations describing each phase. So first phase we already saw in previous video, that is one compartment IV bolus. Whatever the equation mathematical treatment we have given, I will take that equation here. And the second equation is just now we derived in the just before this deriving the maintenance dose. We try to derive a equation where we can have the equation for IV infusion. So that equation. So if we combine both the equations, you will get this equation. This is the particular equation. So concentration over a period of time in the body can be described by, first equation is, this is IV bolus. Second equation is IV infusion. So both I am going to combine. And I will try to get what is the concentration of the drug in the body over a period of time. Now if we substitute CSS Vd for X naught, that what loading dose and what we say that, and rate of infusion. If you substitute loading dose in the first equation, rate of infusion in the second equation, if you substitute this in the above equation, it simply reduced to concentration is equal to what we say that steady state concentration, indicating the concentration of drug in the plasma remain constant throughout the infusion time. What he is saying is, in the above equation, if you substitute these two equations, loading dose as steady state concentration and volume of distribution, and rate of infusion as steady state concentration, volume of distribution and K. If you substitute this equation there, these two equation, this above equation is being reduced to just CSS, steady state concentration, because what we are doing in the above equation, we are substituting the values which we got in steady state concentration into this equation, hence we will get only steady state concentration. So the above equation represents this equation, here this equation represents concentration of drug in the body over a period of time through both IV bolus and IV infusion. In this equation, if you try to substitute the steady state concentration equations, this equation will be reduced to C is equal to CSS. You can substitute again, you can see that. If you cancel those terms, you will be remaining with C is equal to what it indicates. So if I substitute those things here, it indicates the plasma drug concentration at that time will be at steady state. So how will you get steady state concentration in one compartment IV infusion is you need to give these two equations. How to get the steady state concentration? Okay, to get the steady state concentration, this is the equation we use for one compartment open model IV infusion, because we are using two equations, because one equation is for IV bolus, another equation for IV infusion. Why we are using two equations? Alone through IV infusion, if I want to attain the steady state concentration, that to 90% of steady state concentration, then I have to wait for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, depending on the half-life. To avoid that, we will give a loading dose, that is IV bolus, and we will also give a infusion, that is your maintenance dose. Okay, rate of infusion. Now what happens here? Due to this, you can suddenly or you can maintain the drug concentration within the steady state concentration over a period of time. If you get a question like how to maintain the steady state concentration in IV infusion in a one compartment model, open model, then this is the equation for that. Okay, then assessment of kinetic parameter, that what our second part is. We try to saw how to determine the Ke from these values. And also, because we can see Vd is coming in between, we can determine volume of distribution also. Clearance is also coming in between, we can determine the clearance also. Now what is the remaining part here is, if the given value is area under curve, how can I determine the parameters? Okay, these parameters, that is Vd and plasma drug clearance, can be determined this equation. See this, AUC is equal to R0 into T is the infusion time divided by Ke into Vd. Okay, this equation AUC is equal to R0 T by Ke into Vd. Okay, now R0 Ke Vd is called as steady state concentration. Substitute that, you will get steady state concentration and time. So if you are given with if you want to determine the steady state concentration from AUC, this is the equation. Or if you want to determine, okay, the time of infusion, if from the AUC, so if you know the steady state concentration and AUC, you can determine the time of infusion also. Or you can determine the any values. So AUC is equal to steady state infusion and time. Just I will write down here. AUC is equal to steady state concentration and time of infusion. So you can calculate vice versa if you want to calculate this or this. So this is how we determine the kinetic parameters for one compartment open model IV infusion. What you want to remember here is what we are going to determine individually. How we are going to determine this. Okay, finally, first we will try to give mathematical treatment. We try to derive an equation from which we can determine the Ke value, that is elimination rate constant. Then same elimination rate constant is being determined through a steady state concentration equation. We try to draw two graphs here. One is that one, second is this one. Okay, steady state concentration. Then we try to give a full equation by taking loading dose and maintenance dose, that is steady IV infusion and IV bolus. We get the full equation. Okay, that what this equation is, this above equation. So IV bolus equation and my IV infusion equation will tell you, if you sum these two, because you are giving IV bolus as well as infusion, if you sum these two, you will get the what is the change in concentration of the drug in the plasma over a period of time. That what you will get in. Okay, I hope you understand. Thank you.